She didn't apologize, she gifted the narcissist's escape plan. She didn't apologize, she gifted the narcissist's escape plan. So let's dive into this. Really, my mother in my life has never ever told me that she's sorry and ever meant it or ever said she's sorry. She handed me gifts instead in silence and expected me to forget the wreckage she had caused for the last 30 years, comparing and competing and winning and losing and sacrificing all that I stood on, all that I created for myself to tell a narrative that's not true, posing as the hero and the savior and as God herself. She didn't ever say sorry, guys. She handed me gifts and expected me to forget the wreckage that she caused. There was no conversation, just a distraction, just a misrepresentation, and wrapped in a ribbon, of course. And for years I mistook it for love, this transaction. Now I see it for what it was, a muzzle, a velvet gag, a glitter bomb dropped over a grave she dug for me and then afterwards tried to throw me in the grave when it didn't work, and obviously before my time. I want you to hold that image in your mind. Glitter over a grave. It's pretty, it's shiny, easy to ignore if you don't look close enough. She relied on that shine and appearances. She relied on how quickly people will file away complexity when a package arrives. She relied on our cultural script. Gifts equal love. Therefore, no further questions are needed. She invested in that script, rehearsed it and weaponized it. The gift was never the point. The gift was the cover story and becomes the only narrative as she would play the professional expert victim, the only thing that she's actually really good at. Understand this first, guys. The covert, malignant, narcissistic mother doesn't give to heal. She gives to avoid healing. She gives to avoid proof. A real apology is a repair. A real apology changes behavior. A gift changes the page. Gifts perform reconciliation. Apologies require work. She will never do the work. She will never be accountable. She will manufacture an appearance of care and love and doing her duty as a mother and call that closure when it's not closure at all. So let's map the anatomy of these tactics. Gift giving. I'll name the parts so you can see it when it happens. First, it's the timing of it. She arranges the gift to land in the practical window between rupture and the bad reactions. Immediately after blowing up, after the gaslighting, after the public shame and humiliation from the slander, there is silence. Then the surprise. That timing is deliberate, guys. It isn't comfort. It is an interruption. It is a way of rerouting the attention of witnesses and family members to that object. People will remember the new things she gave more readily than the words she used to wound you, to the actions she used to force dependency by abuse. So this kind of gift, it carries a covert message. Lavish pieces mean I can buy your goodwill and you owe me. So whether a car, a jet ski, self-help materials mean you are the problem, not me. Nostalgia bombs mean I'll keep you small and tethered. Generic last-minute stuff means I checked the box, now stop complaining. Sentimental keepsakes mean I define our bond and you are my possession. Every item is a sentence in her language of superiority, domination, and control as she poses as the only one that exists, the center of the universe. Gifts are publicized by the narcissist. She tells a story of the gift like it's evidence of her character, her generosity, her thoughtfulness when she won't do the work. She shows receipts, posts photos, mentions the gift to mutual contacts. That performance is to create witnesses who will testify on her behalf, to make the person who was hurt look petty, the victim look petty. And when they refuse to play along like me, they just cause a narrative, rewriting the narrative. So she references the gift later as the defining event. When anyone asks, did she do anything to you? Friends and relatives will hear about the gift first. She sent such a thoughtful present, they'll say. The gift becomes the proof that nothing is wrong here. The damage is minimized because a tangible token exists. And tangible tokens are easy to point to and easier to understand than nuanced emotional abuse and emotional harm. You see, there is this real sense of a victim of these things and an indebtedness to the abuser. The gift creates an odd currency, doesn't it? Gratitude becomes an obligation. If you accept the gift, she will later tally it in her mental ledger. And I was so generous, she'll say. That ledger is used to dismiss your pain and the abuse that they've done. After all I did for you, they say, you act like this. You are expected to perform gratitude as proof you have this forgiveness. Your feelings must align with this transactional way of loving and caring for you. So now let's decode the common gifts and the specific messages that they carry. When you recognize the message, you recognize the tactics. So whether it's a diamond, a designer bag, a car, a jet ski, a home, an extravagant trip, it's always over the top gift giving. Surface meaning is, I love you. I'm so generous, look at me. And the hidden meaning is, you owe me. I bought the story of my own goodness. Lavish gifts buy social capital for her, in other words, and moral pressure for you, the one receiving the gift. Accepting it cuts your leverage in half. Rejecting invites her to play the martyr. Either way you go, it's a zero-sum win game. Self-help books, therapy referral suggestions, wellness gadgets, all are surface meaning. I care about your growth. But the hidden meaning is you are broken, you are the problem, and it's only you. So the covert malignant narcissistic mother uses quote-unquote help as a diagnosis. She renders from a distance. She suggests self-improvement as though your hurt is a failing and you alone must fix it. That saves her from making any internal change and acknowledging and being responsible as a parent, as a mother. Childhood nostalgia are also keyed upon in this. The stuffed animal from your early years, the photo album, the receipts she remembered, quote unquote. Surface meaning, I remember you, I cherish our history. The hidden meaning, stay small, stay dependent. This is my domain for exclusive attention. So nostalgia pulls you back into a childhood role. It weaponized the shared memory as a leash upon you. The last minute thoughtfulness items also, a generic gift card or hurried bouquet, something grabbed from a checkout aisle. Surface meaning, I didn't forget you. See, I made an effort. And the hidden meaning is, I checked the box of this transactional love. Now be grateful and stop making waves in my life and stop bothering me. These gifts are performative minimalism. They require minimal effort, but demand maximal forgiveness on our parts. So sentimental keepsakes, whether it be lockets, engraved notes, items that imply a shared narrative, surface meaning, we're connected, we have a story, and the hidden meaning of the covert malignant narcissistic mother is I define the story. I own you and I own the narrative. So keepsakes are proof texts she can hold up in family conversations to assert a version of events where she remains at the benevolence center, posing as God, posing as the hero and the savior. Cards with vague apologies are given. I'm sorry you felt hurt. I regret that things went the way that they did. Surface meaning is I apologize, but the hidden meaning is I did nothing wrong. Your emotions are the true problem. These vague apologies avoid subjects, avoid admission, and make the offended party feel like they're the burden. And to interrupt, the apology is, and to say something about it is not sufficient, as we well know, but to them it's sufficient. Understand the behavioral sequence that follows the damage, guys. She creates harm, gaslights, triangulates, cutting you off from family, friends, and support networks, undermining your accomplishments, comparing you unfavorably, then watches the fallout with a smirk on her face. When witnesses come close to noticing, she deploys the gift, and the gift arrives without a preface. No admission, no "I'm sorry for this or for that," just an object or an item with a card that frames the gesture as love when it's not love. The silence that follows, the rupture, is a field she uses to set the stage for her performance only. So if you refuse to perform and go along with it and pretend you're grateful, if you name the harm, she's prepared. She will flip the script and claim victimhood immediately. "I try so hard," she says. "I did this for you." If you maintain the truth, she will weaponize public memory, recounting the gifts, showing the evidence, making others question your ingratitude. The community then becomes the mechanism she uses to police your bad reactions to abuse, which is normal. Even more insidious of these covert malignant types is how she monitors the object and uses the gift to drive her control into your life deeper. She will compare how you use it. She will criticize the way it looks in your house. She will insinuate things about how quickly something disappears or wears out in your care and in your possession, implying sloppiness or ingratitude. She will manufacture drama around the item's survival just to put you back on stage and to remind you that you are being watched and judged, even when the quote-unquote gift is supposed to be purely from love in private. This is surveillance using gift giving, and it masquerades as affection and care and a woman doing her duty as a mother. She uses possessions since I was a little boy as modes of control. She disrupts your autonomy, not by direct orders, but by constant commentary, by measuring your stewardship, by converting objects into performance spaces where you must prove your worth again and again as they establish themselves as the only one in control. And you must also recognize the tactic of strategic publicity. She will tell other people about the gift first and go around playing the victim. She will choose a witness who matters, a sibling, an in-law, a family member, and make sure that person knows about the present and the gift. That witness's later reconciliation will tilt public memory, and they will remember that she gave you something and it was so thoughtful and so great. And your opposition is suddenly framed as ungratefulness rather than legitimate grievances for never having your needs met because those items are sacrificed on the altar of her ego. Strategic publicity leverages the social proof fallacy. If enough people testify your mother is generous, fewer people will give weight to your account, to your narrative, to the things your eyes saw. So we must name the psychological mechanics behind why this works on us. Humans equate gifts with intention. We assume visible generosity indicates internal goodness. That assumption is exploited, of course, and the covert narcissist understands the cultural shortcuts, leaving nothing out, and the cultural shortcuts we as people take. She constructs evidence of benevolence in short-circuit, deeper inquiry, and to do that, to short-circuit, deeper questioning. So the gaslighting component makes this really a solid tactic. She mixes crumbs of kindness with chronic harm, so the pattern is harder to spot. One shining gesture in a sea of sabotage creates cognitive dissonance and enablers. How can a person who gave this or that do such a thing as you as a victim are saying? The dissonance makes the victim doubt their own perception even, but not us. The doubt is the narc's greatest ally. So there is also the ritual of gratitude. You see, this gratitude is social glue. She asks for gratitude as an obligation. She requires a performance of gladness as proof that reconciliation is actually been done and complete. Gratitude becomes a behavior she can police. If you refuse gratitude, she will escalate. She will weaponize the thoughtful act into an accusation like they always do. You are ungrateful, cold, and cruel, the very thing that they are as they role reverse. She will turn your refusal into a moral failing that distracts from her failure to own the harm and damage that she's been doing for the last 20 years, 25 years. You will often hear, why can't you just accept the gift? The question presupposes that acceptance equals forgiveness, which it does not. But you can accept an item without validating the behavior that produced the need for that item. You see, you can own an object and still demand accountability. And that's something they don't really understand. The coercion comes when her gift is used to erase the harm in the eyes of others. Let me speak to the survivors out there. Let me talk to you guys for a second. And this translation for your sake. What it actually means when a covert narcissist gives. When my mother gave, she was just giving to muzzle me. She is saying, don't speak. It jeopardizes all appearances. Don't feel, just smile, be grateful. The gift replaces the labor of emotional repair with the performance of gratitude. It says, without saying it, I will not change, and you will comply with my theater, my performance. She will not change because she never intended to be confronted about these things. The gift is an offer to return you to an acceptable role that she's cast for you, small, thankful, and quiet. But God has different plans for us. So what do you do when this happens to you guys? First, we name it. Then we call the tactic by its name: camouflage, distraction, public performance, debt creation. Naming removes the fog, doesn't it? And when you can say that gift was deployed to avoid accountability, you stop being mystified and start being strategic rather than bewitched. Second, we separate the object from the pattern. If the object is necessary or useful, you may accept it and still refuse the emotional canceling that is being attempted. You see, accepting an item does not obligate moral surrender to these wicked behaviors. You are allowed to keep a thing or not, and keep the story that you have and not what they try to force on you in deceit. She wants to impose a different story. So really, we're going to set boundaries around these narratives. If if she parades a gift, that gift to mutuals, she claims moral superiority, and you can decline the narrative theft, is what I'm saying. You can say, thank you for the gift. I will not allow that to cancel what's happened between us. That statement is short, factual, and refuses the trade. So it does not plead, it does not explain, but it asserts. So really refuse the ledger, guys. Don't allow her generosity, which is fake, to be used as a currency in an emotional economy where she is both banker and the judge. You are not indebted for her cruelty simply because she purchases tokens to cover up the damage she's done. Treat her gestures as gestures, not verdicts. Seek witness collaboration. If you have allies, if you have friends, therapists, chosen family members, speak to them about this pattern. Explain how the timing and type of gift functioned in your life and what it was used for after everyone's eyes were taken away and appearances are there. So, and that's all there is. So there's a recognition of these sequences. Witnesses can really see the pattern even when her performance is the loudest, even when the act and con artistry is the loudest. So now I'm going to address an internal work because external tactics are answered by internal clarity. So your anger is justified if you're out there. You will be told, you are being petty, vindictive, small, but you will be offered the gift as proof of your own smallness. So look at this token. You should be moved, but your refusal is a threat to the whole system she has built around a false narrative. That threat will trigger escalation, and she will weaponize relatives. For me, it's been 40 years, not one relative has ever called me. She will weaponize social media and highlight reels and guilt to push you back under her compliance and control. And we have to do the inner work that locks this tactic out forever. Solidify your memory. Keep a journal of behaviors and patterns. Record dates, what was said, and what followed after. Memory is not a weapon, it is an anchor. And she will try to erode your recollection by flooding you with shiny things and objects that her abuse has created that you desperately needed. When you behave this way, you are getting victory. And don't let her gifts anchor you to the bad behavior. So practice saying the truth in short sentences. You gave me a gift after you cut me off. That gift does not fix the harm. Repeat it until it is steady. Repetition normalizes clarity, and clarity dissolves the confusion she wants to keep alive in you. Protect your boundaries. If gifts arrive with strings attached, like all of them have, and the public announcements, the conditions that are never spoken about before the gift is given, return them, donate them, get rid of them, or place them out of direct contact with you until the conditions change. You do not have to keep the physical reminder of manipulation in your living space if it re-traumatizes you, in other words. You get to choose your own environment. The narcissist attempts to try to make your choices for you, but that's going out the door as well. So refuse to barter your dignity for peace. There will be pressure to make easy peace, to perform reconciliation for other people's comfort's sake. That superficial peace will not be peace for you. It will be a surrender. So choose truth over the calm that is purchased by these narcissists to make you forget. And understand what true repair looks like, guys. True repair is an acknowledgement of specific harms that have been done, a clear apology that names the behavior, concrete steps to change, and an invitation to renegotiate the relationship under these new terms of health. A gift is not one of those steps. A gift can be part of a larger repair if it is accompanied by the labor that proves the person is trying to change. And if the gift is deployed without those steps, it is camouflage only. And the narcissist intends to continue to dominate, control, and abuse. So let me be blunt. When my mother gives instead of apologizing, do not let that gift become silence. Do not let it be the thing that rewrites your memory and narrative. Keep your story. Keep your anger where it belongs as a signal of injustice. Use it to fuel boundaries, to name the pattern, to build the life you were denied since you were too young to even know what was going on as you were thrown in the middle. You will face resistance from family members. People will prefer the shiny version because it is less messy. They will choose the narrative that preserves their comfort level. And this is not your burden to fix. Your job is the truth of your life, and live it, tell it. Choose those who can hear it, guys. Those that are ready to wake up. Those that are ready to grow and to change. And finally, reclaim the language of giving. Give on your terms. Give when you mean it. Give to heal, not to hide. When you give, let it be repair. When you accept, let it be consent to the relationship as it actually is, not as you wish it to be. This is the reckoning, and I and you are the reckoning. You are not for sale, and the narcissist thinks they can buy you and buy your forgiveness. Your memory is not negotiable. Your grief is not a ledger item to be canceled by petty things. You deserve apologies that name the wound specifically, not gifts that bury it. You deserve repair, not presentations. Reclaim your voice. Reclaim your story. Reclaim the boundaries that protect your life from being edited into a false narrative, guys. Stop thinking the hand that is wounding you is your savior, but start thanking the hand that has not hurt you. Start telling the truth. A gift does not replace an apology or action taken to help fix and correct the damage. Short call to action here is just that you start telling the truth. Share this if someone needs to hear it. Likes, subscribe. Love you guys.